Well, I've already covered Yule, but I'll go ahead and say it again. In the 10th century AD, King Hakon the Good moved Yule from its original festivity time of early to mid-fall to late December to coincide with Christmas. Christmas, of course, has nothing to do with Yule. Samhain, that's not a Christian, there's no Christian holidays at that time of year. It's end of October, early November. There's nothing there. So Ostara, on the other hand, is one of probably 300 to 400 different pagan goddesses that are celebrated in the spring. And I'm glad you brought up that, because Easter was originally celebrated at the same time as Passover. Why? Because if you know anything about the Bible, the crucifixion and resurrection of Christ happened at the time of Passover. That in fact, for the first 12 to 1400 years, Easter was called Passover. The only connection to paganism that Easter has comes from the month that pagans living on what are now the British Isles celebrated their festival to Astor. Not Ostara, Astor. You see, when these early British Isle pagans converted to Christianity, they started celebrating the resurrection of Christ. The reason they started calling it Easter is because it happened in the month of Ashtarmanath in their calendar, which coincides with Nisan in the Jewish calendar, which coincides with March and April of the Gregorian calendar, which is the calendar we use to this day. That is the only connection to paganism that what we call Easter now has. So no, Yule, Samhain, Ostara has nothing to do with Christian practices or Christian holidays. With the exception of Yule, you're using association fallacy, because they happened at roughly the same time. Well, obviously it must be based on paganism. No, that's not true. And as I've demonstrated, Yule was moved to coincide with Christmas.